The greatest tool and your greatest weakness in life is the mindset. That was honestly a shower thought I just had. And also the start of this episode is me having to go to projects. Okay. I'm gonna keep it really short in case, again, I have low battery and then it stops my recording. I slept for 6 hours. That was great. I slept at 1, woke up at 7. That was great. But then I'm at the state, I'm like, everything is going in slow motion for me. I'm like, wow. It's like relearning how to walk. It's not like that one time where I was all like, man, I'm so like when you get up finally again and then your body is all in a ooh. No, I'm in the state where I feel like I'm fine, like everything is going about how it is, but if I consciously acknowledge it, it feels slow, but not in a groovy way, just in a time is slowing down sort of. Like, I'm driving to school, right? And it's like, am I gonna be late? It's like, I have really no worries, man. Take your time. Like, that type of vibe, like, Snoop Dogg, like, hey, man. I don't even know why it's Snoop Dogg, but that's the feeling. Just recording my mood, not even my mood swings, but just the vibes of, like in the beginning, when I recorded just in the shower, just like actual shower, that I'm like, the mindset kind of be the most powerful and the most weakest part of an individual mentality, bro. Check yourself. And I'm like, wow, I don't want to forget that. So that's why I was like, let me just record it. So I have projects. And afterwards, I'm going to go back to my apartment to probably edit the October 1st video, which is not that much. And then go to VFX if I feel up to it. Because I will. Why not? I don't know. I think that's it. Like, I need to eat something. I definitely need, like, a drink of some sort. Maybe, like, a sweet tea. Arizona tea. You can already read in my body. I'm like, yeah, this is great. I'm not drunk, man. I'm just tired. Oh, okay. I wouldn't say I'm tired. That's a weird thing. I would say I'm more so, like, my body's hitting the waves, man. Like, if you're in the ocean, it's like I'm in an invisible ocean and I'm being like, my mentality is better than yesterday, I will say. I don't feel as cut off from my thoughts as I was yesterday. And I feel like, also I want to note, I think since I've been sleeping in the morning more so, I feel like my dopamine in general has significantly dropped. I think that's why I'm sort of like in this middle range vibe of yeah, just do it. And I'm like, okay. But now since I not relapsed, but got back to sleeping closer to nighttime, which is like 1 a.m. again. Whoa, this is tough. Ugh. There's like a wave. The line be so long. That was a long line. There has been a bigger line situation this month. We're starting off this month. It getting crazy. It becoming that time where we see more cars parked in lanes. And what? It's 7. Like, if we had to defeat one thing for traffic, it would be a better system for this. Let's pivot for a better direction. I'm kidding. Yeah. I definitely want to get my work done. My brain was so cut off that I didn't do my strike team announcements yesterday. I think I was just like, sing! And I'm like, because I did my Instagram thing, because I timed that. I put 5 alarms on myself to be like, remember to do that. Remember to post your stuff and to set up stuff, which was great. I'm glad I did that beforehand. Because I would have just slept and then probably felt more tired to do things. And I think when it comes to low storage on my phone, I think yesterday I didn't have a lot. I only had photos and like a couple of videos, like less videos, and it was even like less than 3 minutes long. But I think it's because I have to charge my phone and then it's like, okay, maybe I gotta do that. Also offload a lot of apps. Again, I'll probably do like a deep analysis on the weekend. I won't do it now. Yeah. But you'll see me. I think, okay, wait. I'll say one thing. I think the one goal that I want for October is shorter form videos. Whoa, that's my challenge. My challenge is shorter form videos under an hour. If I need to cut something, I will cut something. I can't just talk willy-nilly. I think I want to be conscious about what I edit now, and also conscious of people's time, and honestly conscious of what I can put on my Instagram. Because then I can be like, wow, that's great. Because when I was doing my Instagram stuff and trying to pick out like the best videos, I was like, wow, there are 30 days and I can only have a max of 20 things on my Instagram. And there's also this weird new format on Instagram where you have like a post that's like very small and has like a long button. I don't even know what that is. Who invested in that? You know, you changed the aspect ratio to be more rectangular than a square box, which I like the square box, but now it's rectangular. And now you're changing the format of a post where you can have like a little long divot. Maybe I want that. I don't. I thought yesterday would be the most brain-numbing thing. Today, I think beats it. Brain-numbing as in NPC mode. I feel like when I went to my team's base, and then quote-unquote locked in, I think I locked in to like default factory mode with no dialogue context whatsoever with how I am. And what I mean by that is I sort of just droned off and listened to people and have no emotional attachment to anything whatsoever, almost like a robot. And I'm just like, great. There was also a fire drill midway through. That was interesting. And going upstairs and downstairs, my head be hurting. It's like pulsating here, pulsating here. And it's like, this is where the sparks of my brain should be like thinking like, but there's nothing, there's no output. I also want to buy a mouse, so I'll buy a mouse. I'll do that. I know that for sure. I also had this spicy meal. Not again! When I was eating that spicy meal, I was thinking about my one video creep. I'm like, damn, not again. But I won't post and edit based off of that. The vibe today is numbing, to say the least. Mentally, I am not here. I think even when driving, I have like muscle memory, and I'm just going on autopilot. Bryce also visited the space, but again, I was like, I didn't really talk to him. It was more like, he was a stranger to me. I just defaulted to just looking at him. Or many people. Or talking to people. I'm sort of just defaulting. I sort of riffed in some cases, but yeah. Just so I don't forget, these aren't so much in my words as like an evaluation to the team that I'm on. So honestly, no hate on them, but it's something just to keep in mind, because honestly, Hunter was talking afterwards about the teams, like, you know, you heard me when I said these things. But again, I'm in factory mode, so I'm sort of like, I'm like listening. I'm like, I have the attentive listening look, like, but at the same time, I'm like this. And I'm just like watching. I'm like, so let me just regurgitate what he probably was saying. Not out of context, just like literal, like talking about. I think the iteration process is a lot, and the scary part is the post-production aspect of the game. And the thoughts were that it was definitely not going to take 2 weeks, and that there should be more tighter communication into how narrative and environment were going to be like. And Isaiah was like, you know, that's why we're masochists. We're masochists here at this team. My thoughts now, from my default brain as of now. When I was brought on during the summer for leads, there was honestly the expectations of throwing everything out, which seemed like that's what the team was going to do. And I was just vibing with it. So I'm like, okay, if that's the case, then sure, I will see. I'll say a lot of the aspects of a lot of the team dynamic heavily relies on the communication with like Jax. Isaiah bringing a lot of the inputs. Hunter almost side lighting, but wants to improve on his communication skills. And let's say like Nina for design. I think Nina be gatekeeping sometimes. You definitely have to like pry her for the ability of like, okay, if you want to talk to her, you have to like directly talk to her or like message her at her to get the thing going. And especially with that communication with like Tyler and Nina, has to be more tighter. I think Jax has it down with a lot of how CS be working, like for the department wise, but I think himself as an individual working on things that are not related to the game, like the project review is like his crutch in essence, taking note of that. Snow is pretty good, I gotta admit. I just gotta also note she leaves early, like Kieran. Kieran also is pretty good, but I think there has to be that explanation of reasonably what we're doing. And then for my case, my POV overall and how I'm doing things, I think my plan was to feel out for the month how things are gonna go. My biggest goal was to see if they can put in the ether level or whatnot, or how it looks like nearing the end of the week. And somewhat poor it, but not as bad. Eli, okay, here are the people that are good. Eli's pretty good. I would say with Sasha, she needs to communicate more. And Adrian is good on communication. I think there's a lot she also has on her plate, and also like expressing like lighting has to be dealt with. I think that's the only thing that's like an issue of as of now. Who's doing that? Dylan is pretty good at being upfront with stuff. Jacob is Jacob. Jacob is Jacob. And probably the people who typically get most sick or like tired are like Nisa. No, not Nisa, sorry. Nina. They have both the same name, sorry. Nina, Prava. Owen doesn't come in person. He's online. Who else? Sam has been due diligently doing things for the asset wise. I'm probably missing people. But again, my brain's like, ugh. Oh, UI, Alex, and Jasper, they're killing it. Pretty good. Not gonna lie. I set them straight with that Kaneo. Resi's good. I think that's it. Shania's pretty good. Okay. With that out of the Xavier. With that out of the way, what are my mental factory plans as of now? I'm gonna pause this just for downloading purposes. Okay. So for the case scenario of right now for this month, the month was pretty much getting the ether level as a prototype. I think it's at that stage, but I think the expectations are more now on the iteration and the playtesting phase. I want that to be done and I'll actually establish this week, like actually trying to playtest stuff and then having that playtest go through for the second week. I think that's the biggest takeaway for RC2. And then my second RC2 thing would be marketing. I'll look into that more and I'll actually like prep that and see where that goes. Notably, Prava has to take at least like 2 weeks to do like an art thing to make it finalized and complete. So I have to see that out of the way. I'm populating assets in the level. But I think my #1 priority to situate is having the ether level in the game. It's not in the game, which that was honestly an expectation to me. When they were saying add a new level as well, I was like, bro, you are not going to add this new level. But if you need it that badly to develop the narrative, I will see it through. I'm not the one who is driving the creative process. I'm the one who needs to facilitate it and see it through. It will be seen through. I think for me, I 24/7 feel the words, but right now I feel factory mode brain. This is why I had no feelings towards as much emotional aspects of what Hunter said, which is at face value a bad thing. But to me, if I had the brain capacity and necessarily to do it, I'm like, yes, okay. But I honestly say we're on the right track. I also accounted for a lot of people getting sick, you know. Also, there's two things when it comes to like a project. One, people getting sick and working distance. And then two, people working on other classes, you know. I think those are the factors when it comes to working in a bigger scale with people. And not just with, also the scale of how many people are working on things. I think Hunter had like a issue of like, I don't know what to touch. Same, I don't even know what people are touching. Like I could be in the engine as well and I'm gonna be like, okay, there's specific people. I would say just, it's that just communication aspect then. Even though it's like so many people, you just have to get used to that. It's not just you have to talk to one person, you have to talk to other people, but be more direct in a way that you want to ask, hey, am I able to touch it or not? And it's like, okay. If I can't, then it's like, let's form some form of deadline that can be issued on that case. But I will say for October, if we have 4 weeks to do this, I would say the first week would be getting that ether level working in the build. If it cannot be worked in the build by this week, then it is terrible because you need to make time for playtesting. Playtesting should be at least like 2-ish weeks or a week and a half. So that's what my expectations are, that in that between week that you do that testing, as well as facilitating with the assets and whatnot. UI would also be an element to like adjust things accordingly, as well as a lot of playtests through with like animations. Because I think the bulk of it already is pretty good. The first milestone was RC1, has been just textures, retexturing, animations, getting the UI assets in, all great. But I think right now the biggest bottleneck is that the ether is not in the level. Which that was my expectations even like when they were talking about it to me like a while ago in summer. I was like, okay, second month putting in the ether level. Like immediately when they were talking about the ether level, it's like second level of the ether level. And with that, if we postpone any longer, it will just be a detriment to the game. That's what I say. And then the marketing, I'll do marketing in that aspect and making sure that things are recorded to being for the final thing, which that'd be good. And making sure a lot of the rubrics are there. On my case, let's evaluate me. I think I'm able to read the room now for individuals. Unless I'm default factory brain, then I'm sort of just like, next month, this month, what I mean by next month, I guess I mean this month, is because it's the new month. I'm going to be more firmer, I'm going to be more stricter, I'm going to be more communicative, I'm going to be more upfront with people. I'm going to stand behind their shoulders and like, hey, is this being done? Is this being, are you waiting on who's reviewing what? And I think that's very valuable, especially with like Jax, because Jax is like moving around and it's like if he needs to know something, then it's like he needs to know something. Be tighter with people with strike team talks. I think that would be valuable. I think the strike team talks are actually valuable. But like today, it was like skeleton crew people in person. Like again, people get sick. That's natural. It just sucks. So that's why you just have to factor in that while doing the production process. But I think overall, with what people could touch, communication on the direct individuals. And the bad benefit behind that is that it's still waiting time. When will they respond? Which sucks. So it's better in person, or better to call and be proactive about it than not. Because I think everyone, when it comes to a project, even if you know the project, is very ignorant, right? And again, like I said, with the idea of the strongest and most weakest thing an individual has in their toolkit is the mindset, is real. That's just me. Now, I'm gonna buy a mouse, because again, if you recall, my mouse broke. Or broke in a way where like the charging port is now fried. And when I get my mouse, I'm probably going to do my night vision thing, because I don't want to dilly-dally on that and like sleep. Because again, like I'm like factory mode. I'm like, I don't want to like be unproactive anymore. I'm just doing it. But at the same time, I have no feeling. Even with that laugh was artificial, bro. I watched so many of my YouTube videos, so now I'm an AI on myself. Yeah, I'm gonna do that though. I feel like no talking, but with a purpose, is the best thing in life. No yapping, just working, the greatest thing in the world. Peak, if you will. This is still me default. I got Klondike bars to help me facilitate my mouth. My mouth is actually not that bad. I think also because I haven't talked a lot. Sure, in these videos I talk, but I'm not really talking so much from overtly. Nor am I thinking like I'm sifting through like words that I have to say. I think it's more so I am sort of awake, but I feel the neurons on the side of my brain actually being like, this is like your soul. Like your soul of me talking is there. But I don't, like my eyes, like when I wander. My eyes wander and just like, and it's not like ADHD or anything. It's like, it's glazing over. I'm like, yes. So honestly, like when I was looking at like Hunter, I was just like, yes, I see mouth moving. Even with Isaiah next to me, like if he was talking, I wasn't even listening to Isaiah either. I was just like, Isaiah's talking. I see like their names over the bars, like Isaiah, Hunter. It's like urgent. Like I see it, like okay, and I'm like, yeah. It's like, I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna work. Ranker. I would say today. Oh, okay. Wait, let me just. Okay. It's my iPad. My iPad's lighting my face. Okay. I would, yeah. I would say today is a I would say C for clearly factory mode.